right, welcome to Devtalkspodcast. We're here with Laura Wagner. She is the alderwoman for Mountain View, Missouri. What district did you say?
Eastward.
East Ward. All right, we're here to discuss some things that have been going on in the city and with the school. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
All right.
What do we got?
First up, excuse me, for the school mainly is me not as an older person, just as a mom.
Mom. Yep.
We were informed a couple of weeks ago that the girls' high school soccer season had been canceled due to low numbers. We weren't incredibly shocked by the news because our numbers were low last year, but we were shocked at the manner in which it was done because the school board held a meeting on February 16th.
Okay.
And soccer was not on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
They decided to discuss the low numbers anyway, and they took a vote at the tail end of the meeting, and they voted to cancel the soccer season. So that was an absolute violation of the Sunshine Law.
And it wasn't even on the agenda.
It was not on the agenda at all.
Per Missouri law, it has to be on the agenda to be voted on.
To be discussed.
Or
yeah,
discussed
to be discussed and voted on.
Okay.
Yeah. And I brought all that with me.
And so they voted just to cancel the season.
Yes.
Without even consulting with the parents, the coaches,
correct,
anyone.
Correct.
Okay, well, what did they expect by doing this? What kind of pushback did they expect? Did they expect everyone just to lie down and take it, or what's going on?
I feel like they did because soccer in this area hasn't gotten a whole lot of support. Yeah. And our high school girls soccer program, it was a fight to start it, and it's been a fight to keep it. And like even last year, when our numbers dropped, they immediately after the season ended, it was probably that very next board meeting, which I want to say it was maybe, like it was days. They had a board meeting after the soccer season ended last year.
Like 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so this was kind of on their mind. They wanted.
It wasn't on the school board mind. It was on one person in particular's mind. And once again, it wasn't on the agenda. I was given a heads up. Hey, I think this is going to be talked about. So I had to scramble last minute. I called the two soccer coaches. I'm like, ladies, we got to get to this meeting.
The coaches didn't even know.
The coaches didn't even know about it.
Wow.
They didn't even know about this. The February 16th meeting. They didn't know their program was going to get canceled. They had zero heads up.
So they vote on it, and then how does everyone find out that they decided to cancel the season?
The athletic director called the coaches.
They just called the coaches after the decision has been made.
After the decision was made.
Wow. Okay.
There was no meeting, and the thing that really hurt my feelings as a parent, which we told our child because we got told immediately. None of the girls, none of the players from the past, there was no meeting held at the school. They didn't hold a meeting and said, hey, if you played soccer last year, we were thinking about playing soccer this year, we'd like to have a meeting. They were never sat down and nothing was explained to them.
Jesus Christ. So they just kind of, this is our decision, screw the soccer team, screw the parents. I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like. And honestly, it sounds like they're trying to use their power just to manipulate their will at what they want.
That's what it felt like. And we only had one school board member stand up and say, no, this is wrong. I'm not voting for this. No, I will vote no. She voted no that time. And then at this last meeting that they did Thursday night, she voted no again.
Well, that's brave of her. I mean, to at least stand up against the peers. But, with school board's an elected official, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, there should be some accountability, especially for something like this with the breach of even something so small as like the Sunshine Act. I really don't know. I'm not very educated on that. But what steps are we going to take to try to hold accountability to these people?
Yeah. And see, that's the thing is I feel frustrated. Like I've hit a wall because I've done everything I'm supposed to do by the book. I heard about the meeting, and how it was done. I was like, okay, this is
awful. Push that a little closer. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
There we go.
I heard about the meeting, so I immediately called the superintendent and I said, hey, I would like to have a meeting with you. And he said, absolutely. And he, we scheduled a time.
Yeah.
And I came in and I sat down and talked with him. He was very sympathetic. I don't know if that was just a but I have always liked Dr. Christensen. He has always been very nice and very accommodating. When I worked at the newspaper, I worked with him for a little bit. He was always very nice and accommodating towards me. So I went into that meeting and I assumed it was just going to be me and him.
Yes.
The athletic director was there. The high school principal was there. And then his replacement, because he's retiring this year.
The principal's replacement?
The superintendent's
replacement. Okay.
Yeah, she was there. And I was like, okay, that's fine. A little intimidating, but
well,
I was like,
it's kind of an ambush, it seems like.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then we talked about it. I had caught several lies from someone.
Okay. What do these lies entail?
Basically that he had contact with the coaches when in fact he did not, that he had.
So was
sorry, I'm getting flustered because
get flustered. It's kind of one of those things that deserve
deserve
outrage.
I did everything by the book. Yeah. They gave me my 3 minutes at school board,
which is, I'm sorry, that is freaking crazy that they give you 3 minutes to go over a point in something so important as children having a sport.
Yeah. And I even I made myself a script, and they said I was going to speak first, and then they were going to have the athletic director and the high school principal talk. Well, they let them talk first.
Of course.
And he lied. And
he lied.
He lied, and he manipulated, he took an email that I had sent out of context, and that was his basis for one of his main reasons for canceling the soccer season.
So holding a grudge on you from an email you sent was a basis for canceling a sport.
It wasn't even an email that I had sent to him.
This is freaking wild. See, this is what happens when sociopaths think they have a little power. It's never a good thing. All right.
Because what it was Nathan and I. Nathan runs
and that's your husband.
Yes, okay. He runs Howe County FC.
What is Howe County FC?
It's just a local club program. It's for soccer.
Okay.
Primarily, we are females because
female sports does not get the recognition, and it doesn't get importance put on it at all, especially around these small towns.
Yeah, it doesn't. And of course, we've got daughters, so that was the big drive behind that. But it was also to help get those girls geared up and ready for high school soccer.
Yes.
He's been doing this, I think, Nathan, 6-7 years now, if not longer?
Coach, 20 years as a coach?
Well, on and off with the rec program here.
So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's played soccer since he was 4. I mean, he was a Misuse referee. Yeah. He reffed high school games here. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. So we were going to once again, we were going to go to Springfield to do their indoor league. That's what we always do. Well, the head coach was new to the area, the head high school soccer coach. Okay. She was new to the area. And so I was like, well, you should come along, and you should, be with the girls because most of them were going to be part of her high school team.
Yeah, kind of get a bonding experience.
Yeah. And she was like, we're going to have to get a hold of Misha. She's like, I know there's rules, at certain dates and times, you're not allowed to have contact with your teammates.
Okay. And just for everyone that don't know, Misha is the
Missouri State High School Activities Association.
So they're the ones that kind of control the rules as far as all sports go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to clarify so anyone.
Yeah. So I had sent them an email on September 27th, 2002. I can read the
2022?
Yeah.
22.
And I can read the whole thing if you want.
Yeah, do it.
Because they just have a generalized email that you send stuff to. And I said, good afternoon. We have a new high school girls coach in our district, Mountain View, Missouri, and we are trying to involve her in our rec leagues. We have the opportunity to take a group of girls, several play on the high school team, to participate in an indoor league in Springfield, Missouri. The league runs November 2022 to January 15th, 2023. Before we ask her to come join us, is it against the rules for her to have contact with players during this time? I tried reading the no contact dates and I was a little confused, and I just needed confirmation before we get her involved. I don't want to get her or the girls or the program in trouble when we are just trying to make her feel welcome. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
I never received a reply to that email. So the coach was like, she's like, I'll just come watch. And she's like, I don't want to jeopardize the girls. I don't want to jeopardize their season, just doing the right thing.
So what would happen? If that was against the rules, is that would that be a reason for quote unquote, canceling the season because the coach had contact with the girls during this blackout period?
I don't know if it would be a cancellation of the season, but the coach would definitely be reprimanded. There would be something. Yeah.
Okay.
There's penalties. I don't think.
As a Misha official, I didn't take the same certification tests as the coaches have to, so I'm not 100%, but that's what she was trying to find out. So we weren't trying to break the rules, which is how it came off, in my opinion, that he was trying to manipulate the situation.
So he was basically saying you guys broke the rules when all you guys were really trying to do was cross your T's, dot your I's, make sure you guys were in the right.
But the way he took my email was, and this is how it was explained to
and
me.
And this email that you just read, this is how he took this one.
For this season that hadn't started, he said, well, with the low numbers, what we did was Laura Wagner had sent an email to Misha wanting to know about contact with the high school coach and the high school girls. So if we canceled the season, then this would allow her to be able to go ahead and play and have contact with the girls. And I was like, no, I was like, you took that way out of context. I was like, no, I said that had nothing to do with the high school season. I said this was way before high school. That's why I specifically put the dates in there, and I put all the information I could for Misha. And like I said, we didn't do it. She never had any contact, but he used this email. And one, I'd like to know how he even got this email.
Yeah,
because they didn't reply to me. But Marty Marsh, he said his name during the meeting.
And who is Marty Marsh?
He's part of Misha. He's just part of part of their group.
Sounds like a movie name, Marty Marsh, like
Peter
Parker.
He was from the Springfield area.
Okay.
But so I'm not sure how he
obtained this.
And everything. So that really, and when he said that, that's when my little 3-minute scripted thing I was going to talk about kind of went out the window. I got up in front of everybody and I was just
pissed.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of slimy. I mean, so basically what he was trying to say, just to clarify, is that he was doing you guys a favor by canceling the season so she could go to this rec league and be able to be a part of that.
Yes.
So he's trying to look like this knight in shining armor that's coming down, saving the day, when in fact he's just being a slime ball and doing the complete opposite and trying to, soccer is it doesn't have as many followers as other sports.
Yeah.
And then women's sports, for some reason, they're not as big as the male sports. And then you combine those two, that's already a struggling sport.
Yeah.
And for them to just take that away from the kids who do find joy in that is kind of absurd to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and I did bring up the fact at the school board meeting. I said, I was like, you guys have written in your hallways in the district, every child, every chance, every day. And I'm like, that is not what happened.
Are those just words? I mean,
yeah. And I'm like, I said you couldn't even, because the first official day of the soccer season is February 27th.
Okay.
That's when everyone officially, like, the conditioning is over. That's when you officially start practicing. That's when most schools have their tryouts.
Yeah.
And see where we got a team. We didn't even get that courtesy. 11 days. They canceled the season 11 days before February 27th because they said we had low numbers. Well, we don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, our daughter personally.
So they didn't know they didn't know what the numbers were going to be.
They had he cited a meeting that the coaches had, which it was in January, and it was a meeting that they held at the school district after school. Hey, if you're interested in soccer, come talk to us. There was, I think my daughter told me 10 to 12, 10 to 14 kids there, kind of floating in and out. I think only somewhere between 10 and 12 actually signed the piece of paper that said, yeah, I'm interested.
Well, them doing that kind of sounds like they were looking for a reason to take away the sport anyway by just doing that alone. I mean, does any other sport do that as far as
I honestly don't know if they have interest meetings.
Have interest meetings? I mean, do they do that with our football league?
I don't know.
Well, whenever I played in high school, we never did, which I know it's a different time, but that seems like they're trying to push for a reason.
And then and I don't know, I can't remember if he said he attended one of the conditioning days or if he asked he didn't ask the head coach, he asked the assistant coach how many girls were in attendance. Well, there happened to be 7 girls that day.
Which the conditioning days aren't a mandatory.
They're not mandatory. And I can tell you right now, my daughter is, when she does her sports, she's hardcore, she's all in. She was not there all the days because she had to work.
Well, people have lives.
And she wasn't going to start, scheduling days off until, the actual season began.
Well, thank God she didn't, because there's no season apparently. Now, okay, so you get up there, you've got your 3 minutes to talk. Did any of the school board members, administration, stand up and try to give you a better explanation than the bullshit?
No. It was absolutely nothing.
Silence.
They let the athletic director speak,
and
then they said, "Okay, Laura, here's your time." And I got up there, and they pulled out the phone, and they started the timer.
God.
And I was just, I was already shaking because I was upset by. I mean, he lied and he took my email out of context, and that just set me off.
Well, I'm sorry, but
and so I left my script, and I was very upset with myself because I went back to my high school speech and debate days. I had rehearsed it and everything. Like I was like, I'm gonna nail this.
yeah.
And it just flustered me.
Well, I mean,
and I feel like that was a
they were
tactic
trying to do.
because on the agenda I was listed first.
So they were wanting to put you up at the forefront, not give you time to settle in, relax, throw a timer in your freaking face. Like what?
Yeah. And I mean, I like going from a city council point of view, I understand the timer because
Yes.
if you just let somebody go,
Ramble.
most people will go.
Yes.
You know, like I could literally sit here and talk to you for hours about soccer and everything. But I mean, I get it. But 3 minutes I felt was a little,
for something that controls a whole season, it should be
yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, okay, cool. You want to do 3 minutes, put that timer on. But if you go over 5, 8 minutes or whatever you need to articulate your point the best you can, they should be willing to sit there, listen to what you're trying to say, come understand it, and then make a reasonable decision from the outrage or the other side.
Yeah.
It sounds like they pretty much just, all right, let's give her time so she'll shut up.
Yeah. And basically what I felt like, and that's why I'm frustrated, was
absolutely
they broke the Sunshine Law.
Mm-hmm.
In order to legally correct that, you have to correct it at the next meeting, as
Mm-hmm.
in put it on the agenda and vote again.
Oh.
That's all they have to do. So basically it was like just placating me, and they're like, okay, we went through the steps, but the decision was made, which honestly, the season was over. I mean, girls had gone on to other sports. Other teams had already rescheduled games. You know, as a team, you're only allowed to play so many games in so many tournaments.
Okay.
Other schools have already rescheduled all their games. They're not going to come back and reschedule them for us.
Yeah. So you're
like, I mean, the season was over. Like February 16th, they killed us.
Yeah.
They killed us.
Wow. That's, you know, the thing about these damn small towns, you know, you get these people and most of them have an ego issue to begin with. 2, you put them in a little position of power, and it's shown time and time again we have many past references in Mountain View that they think they can abuse it. They think they can just push their agenda on anyone without anyone pushing back or giving their opinion. They think they don't have to listen to an opinion.
Yeah.
And so,
and I think it's really bad because the media presence, and I sat up last night and I felt bad because I kept thinking in my head, if I was still at the paper, I would have attended that meeting, and I'd have been like, whoa. And I'm like, you guys are breaking the sunshine. Like, you can't do that. But there was I assume there was one other reporter in the room because she had a laptop out and she was working. She leaned over to me and she's like, you had some really good arguments. And I said, thank you. I didn't recognize her. Called my friends at the Quill, and they're like, no, it wasn't one of us.
And you worked in reporting for quite a while, correct?
Yeah, I worked at the Quill for 4 years as a copy editor, and then I worked at the Standard News for 13 years, and I think the last 7 or 8 I ran it completely.
Yeah,
like it was just
you,
just me. Yeah, so like I know what I'm talking about whenever it comes to these things, but I felt really guilty because I felt bad about leaving the paper regardless, because that was my passion.
Yes.
But that particular job and where I was working was burning me out, and I was just a horrible person. I mean, you can ask my husband, like I was not, it was the stress and everything.
Stress overloads people, you know, and there's no getting away from that. You know, you've got to put yourself in a healthy position.
Yeah. And so I did that, but I felt bad because I just kept thinking last night, I was like, if I would have been back in, reporter mode, it's like, would they have even done that?
Yeah.
But no one comes to these meetings.
Yeah, which is probably another problem with them thinking they can do things.
Yeah, because
there's no accountability.
There's no accountability. And even I was even talking to one of my friends over at the Quill, and she was like, yeah, she's like, we haven't had, the manpower to get somebody over and cover the meetings, because it's a small area, but we're so spread out from everything. So
you guys cover how many towns? I mean,
yeah,
pretty much our local district, West Plains, Mountain View, Willow, Houston, you guys go all over for the stories.
Yeah.
What do you think, how do I want to word this? When it comes to journalism, what do you think there's a lack of journalism in our small towns that kind of promote the idea of these elected officials being able to kind of push their agenda through without any recourse.
Yeah, I do. I do. Now, Amanda Mendez, she's the owner and publisher of the Howell
She's
County
a
News.
lovely woman. She's supposed to be coming on here.
Yeah. She has been the only one in a very, very long time who, well, like she did the county collector debate.
Mhm.
She put all of that together.
Yes, I saw that. And she's running things like a journalist and getting those debates, even in these small towns.
Yeah.
Those debates are very important. You want to know what the idea is.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, she seems like she's got passion behind what she's doing.
But once again, that's one woman.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
and it's just, you can only do so much. You can only, she was going to try to be at the school board meeting, and she's one woman, trying to
juggle a million different things.
Yeah. But I do feel like a lack of a media presence has kind of let people go lackluster. Because, I mean, I noticed that at city council when I started attending the meetings, and I was seeing what, the previous mayor was doing. I was like, okay.
God, don't get me started on that wrinkly raisin.
I was like, okay, this is wrong,
Yeah.
And then when Ellie told me she was stepping down, and she's like, I think you need to
Ellie.
Well, it's Farrell now.
Ellie, what was she?
It used to be Eleanor Carson.
Okay.
She had my position, East Ward Alderman.
Gotcha.
And she moved out of the district, so that's why she stepped down.
Okay.
And she nudged me. She's like, I think you need to go do that.
And I think you're a great alderman.
I try.
Alderwoman. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's supposed to go.
Alderperson, in today's society.
Yeah.
So, what are the steps from here? What if people hear this and they want to get involved in stuff? What actions need to be taken as of now? What do we need to do as a society?
Everyone needs to start showing up to meetings.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay.
Where do they post the meeting? We need to know where do they post the meetings? How do we find this? Because it seems
okay for school board. Nathan asked me that, and he was like, "Where do they post this?" Because he's like, "I know for City Hall, like they post it on the door,
Yep.
and then they post
it
on Facebook
now. Yeah,
I don't know if the school posted on Facebook. They posted on their school website, so that might be
so that might be their legal way out of it.
Exactly, but
obviously
But I don't know, like
they all know that no one reads those websites.
Yeah,
that's a sneaky way.
I feel that I am pretty computer literate, and it took me a hot minute to figure out where the agenda was.
Yeah. And so how often do the school board meetings happen?
The school board meets once a month. I believe it's the second Thursday of the month. Okay. I know it's always on a Thursday. But yeah, they're just once a month. And they do rotate between schools. Like they'll have it 1 month, they'll be at the Liberty High School. 1 month, they'll be at Mount View Elementary.
Since our school
month,
is
combined
between Birch Tree and Mount View. Okay.
And then, then they'll go to the middle school.
Now, how many people were in attendance at this meeting? Just to get a good, accurate, to show people how little people go to these things.
At this particular meeting, there was more people than usual, but that's because the FTA, the Future Teachers of America, they were presenting. So they had their sponsor there, and there was probably 8 or 10 high school girls. But then there was 1, 2, 3, 4 teachers from the district in attendance. And I had spoke to one of them, and I had asked, I was like, are you just starting to come to these meetings? And he's like, yep, to keep myself up on everything. He's like, I try to come to as many as possible.
Yeah. And well, that's a thing that affects.
But it was teachers. It was just teachers. It was just teachers. It was just those students at FTA. We had one other soccer parent that could make it. She came, she brought her daughter, and then it was myself, my husband, and our daughter. And that was it. Wow.
And the thing is, like, you would think, I don't know if it's because it's just out of sight, out of mind, posting it on like the website and stuff, but I honestly, that's like me with city council meetings. If I don't see it, I don't think about it.
Exactly. It is out of sight, out of mind.
And and with the last administration in the city of Mountain View, that was a very well drawn out tactic for them as far as being able to go in without any resistance.
Yeah.
Is let's keep minimal notice as possible, and then we can push through because no one knows, you know. And I feel like from what you're telling me, that's kind of what the school board is doing. And it, like you said, only teachers, a few parents, and a few students there. You can kind of get by with murder by doing that.
Yeah.
No one's going to push back.
Yeah. And that's why it's absolutely frustrating because we're at a wall right now. I have nowhere else to go because they broke the law.
Yeah.
They ruined the soccer season for the high school
Ruined
girls.
it. I mean, there's no repair.
No, we can't. We can't do it this year. We just can't. It's lost. And they did that 11 days before the first official day.
So freaking
and
slimy.
They did it because of one man's actions because
What position is this one man?
Athletic director.
Athletic director of Liberty High School.
Yes.
Okay, so he would be one that anyone who hears this that has some questions, he'd be one to contact and ask him.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, because
so what is his hate?
I don't know.
Women's soccer.
I don't, and I asked him that. I tried to keep it as nice as possible in open session, but in closed session, I'm pretty sure. Like I think I kind of glazed over because I was hot, but I'm pretty sure at one point I might have said, "Why do you hate soccer? Or what do you have against soccer?" Yeah, what do you have against soccer? Because ever since, well, like last year, we'll start from there. The head coach and the assistant coach have never coached before. Never. He didn't tell them anything. He didn't give them an SOP. Nothing.
SOP, standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't give them anything. They came to
good luck, dude.
To Nathan. Pretty much.
Yeah.
They came to Nathan and myself, and they're like, "Okay, it's like, what do we do?" And of course, Nathan and I are like, "Happy to help. What
Absolutely.
do you need?
You guys help us so much around the city, and you guys are very good people. Especially you guys are so interactive with our, and you care about our town. That's one thing I admire about you guys is how much you guys really do and spend your own time on. And it's an amazing thing.
I don't even want to think about the amount of hours and money out of our pocket that we've
exactly
over the years. But yeah, so we helped. Yeah, the field.
They didn't even set what
the field. The football field is where we play on. The field was not lined and ready to go until our very first game, and we're talking day of. Like Nathan and I were getting worried, and we were like, "Okay, what do we do?" And we were even calling around some people, and they're like, "Hey, we'll come help. We'll come do it. Whatever you need to do." And we were all ready to do it. And then the AD was kind of like, "No, it's taken care of. We got it."
Isn't that the athletic director's job, is to make sure that the sports are ready to go?
Yeah.
So to me, as just a normal citizen, dumb guy, what it sounds like is soccer is a thorn in his side, and he wants to get rid of it to make his job easier.
That's
what he's getting
personally
paid
how
for.
I felt.
He wants to minimize his workload because he feels like he spends too much time for the amount of money he makes, is what it sounds like. I mean,
and the administration in this town makes good money.
Exactly.
Like they make good money. And I will, on that note, I will say, and I'll say his name, but the high school principal, John Daniels, always, anytime I called him and like, I've got a question that I don't know the answer to, immediately responded to me.
Yeah.
Always helpful. He actually attended almost all of the games. He was there.
He seems to be one that he actually cares about the sports program as a whole.
Yeah.
What pisses me off, and you were just talking about it, the soccer field wasn't set up the day before.
Right.
What pisses me off about just in general is that a week before a home game for the football team, we've got everyone out there picking weeds. We've got them weed eating. We've got them mowing. We've got them painting the freaking Liberty Eagles sign in the middle of the field. And so many people are involved in getting down there. Coaches, athletic directors, all of them are just so excited about it. But when it comes to a women's soccer sport, which one isn't big anyway, from no fault of its own, it's not a big sport yet, which I think soccer is on its way up. Just in general,
well, I mean, our women's soccer team has won how many World Cups, Nathan? 4 World Cups, and the men's have won none.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
But they've won more, but 4 for sure. I can say that they've won.
As a school that gets taxpayer money, has all these kids that they are responsible for. They are pretty much parents of our children 80% of the time. I mean, because they're at school more than they're with us.
Oh yeah.
I think it sends a really bad message to kids that one sport is more important than the other.
Yeah. Well, I even saw it, which I've had several people reach out and apologize. Our girls volleyball team, they went to sectionals. We got no fanfare.
Didn't get a parade.
Nothing. We didn't get. And then football went to sectionals, and
Oh yeah,
the
towns lined up.
the street, and I was just kind of like, "That's cool, okay."
Well,
and
to me, that's a failure on the administration part, on the athletic director, because whenever any sport team that goes to anything like that, sectionals, regionals, district, whatever, that's a big deal, and it's a big deal to those kids.
Oh, it's huge.
And the athletic director or whoever is in charge, I'm guessing athletic director because it's in his name as athletic director.
I would assume.
He should at least be like, all right, we're going to line up the teachers, line up the kids, get some signs made.
Yeah.
Amp them up.
All it would have taken was one Facebook post, and I guaranteed someone would have been like, yeah, let's do that. Yeah. And it would have snowballed.
Exactly. But the fact that there's this lackadaisical, lackluster, I guess, mindset whenever it comes to this sport, because they do not think it is important.
Yeah.
It makes me sad. It makes me sad, and it pisses me off.
Oh, it broke my heart because after the soccer, I mean, girls went home and cried. We have one girl on our team that has a condition that she physically cannot straighten her arms out all the way. She's very limited in the sports she can play.
Yeah, and that's one she can.
And this is one she can, and she's excelled at it. Like, she's played for Nathan, oh my gosh, ever since 6th or 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could have shown you video the first time she stepped out on the field to now, she might be tiny, but she is a beast. I mean, her confidence level went from almost not, and I mean, and her mom will tell you this, like, because she I love her to death. She's all the time bragging on Nathan, which, I mean, he deserves it.
Yeah, well, that gave that girl
the
something.
confidence. Yes, I mean, the confidence in her just to be like, I got this, I can do this. But I mean, she is a beast on the field
because of a sport, and that's what it's about.
Exactly.
That's what it's about in school. That's another thing I just do not understand about the mindset of administrations and stuff. It's not about making the football team look like an NFL grade team. It is about all those kids being able to do an extracurricular activity, build confidence, show them teamwork, and get them on the path of whenever you're out of high school, you're going to work with people you don't like. Yep. You're going to do hard things. You're going to have to grind it out and work. It gives a work ethic to them.
Yeah.
And then for them to be like, well, this is not an important sport, instead of looking at it as a developmental, recreational, extracurricular activity for these kids to build character.
Yeah.
And no matter what the school sport is, it's not professional. Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
We do not have a professional NFL team in Mountain View, Missouri.
No,
we never will. So we need, instead of giving importance and precedence on one activity, it needs to be spread equally and distributed. How much funding did the soccer team get?
See, numbers on that, I don't know. Like,
I'd like to find out.
As far as now, I know as far as I'm concerned.
But it's basically our sponsors that
your sponsors covered everything.
Yeah. Ozark Mountain Leasing, they bought backpacks.
Shout out.
Yeah. They bought
good people.
They bought Adidas backpacks for the girls, probably as whenever our oldest daughter was playing.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably
so basically
it was several years ago, but they did that. And then she even had made mention, she was like, you guys need new uniforms, and she's like, I'm all here for it, which, and the coach was, the new coach that we have now, she's like, our uniforms are good. Let's save the money for something else.
That's very nice of her.
It's always been anytime we ever had to feed the girls or anything. And I think it's this way across all sports, because I know it is in volleyball, but like the parents rally together.
Yes.
We gather the money, we,
cook or cater out or whatever and get them something to eat.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, like, with equipment for a school sport, that money should be divided equally among each sport, not given precedence over which one.
Yeah. And I honestly, I don't know how it's divided up. I really don't. I don't.
That should be public information. We should definitely,
it's our money.
Well, we should definitely look into that and maybe talk about that a little bit sometime, because honestly, it doesn't matter, and I'm sure their argument will automatically be
football makes more money.
But it doesn't. I mean, come on, we're making minimal. It doesn't matter. What do they charge at a gate? 3?
3, yeah.
Okay, how many? If everyone in our town came, I mean, that would probably be about $4,000.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's money, but I'm sorry, but the football fund should go towards the soccer, just like the soccer should go towards the football, and it should be distributed equally.
It should, because honestly, like, I understand they have more gear that they have to buy, but soccer,
yes,
we don't need much.
No,
the girls provide their own cleats. They provide their own shin guards,
which is absurd.
The school provides the socks every year. I mean, of
Oh,
course,
that's
the uniforms are, obviously they're,
Yeah.
rotated until they just wear out.
yes.
Every year the
Mhm.
girls do get new socks. I think they got one pair this year, didn't they? Or did they get two?
Good night. That is so generous.
And
a pair of socks.
And the bad thing was
$9 a set. How many girls are on the team?
well, last year we had 12.
Okay, 12.
So,
So wow, not
but
even
in the past we've had up to 18, 22 girls.
I'm not laughing at,
Oh, no,
at
I
the
know.
amount. I'm
Yeah.
laughing at they got socks, one pair apiece.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
And but and it was actually like whenever they were ordered last year, a list was given to somebody,
Mhm.
and they came back with the wrong sizes.
And they probably wouldn't reorder.
No.
I'm not sure that they've always been paying for socks, because when Mia was still playing,
We bought the socks. Yeah.
because she
Yeah, when
refused to
Mia
wear
played,
somebody
we bought
else's
the socks.
So Nathan's saying that the sock thing is recent. They used to have to pay for their own socks along with everything else apparently. Okay, next segment. What can we do to what can the people do to help? What can the people do to get? I think soccer deserves to be there, just like
Yeah.
any other sport. What can people do? What do we need to do?
We need to find some way to get the word out that soccer is, of course it's here.
Mhm.
Nathan and I are trying to do that with the rec program
Mhm.
that we have. This is our third season.
Like recreational soccer
Yeah,
program.
with the Mountain View Soccer
Okay.
Association. This is our third year with it. Our numbers have increased. Like this spring alone, we have 247 kids signed up.
Wow, that's freaking awesome. That's
Yeah. That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
I think there's like 7 U6 teams, 5 U8, 3 U10,
Well,
2 U14s,
and-
and through 2 U19s.
Yeah,
Just for Mountain View. Just for us.
We play Willow, Mountain Grove, Houston whenever they get off their ass.
So play a lot of surrounding towns. And,
Yeah.
that have this recreational league.
Yeah. And Willow Springs, like they're trying to build up theirs. Terry Elmore, she's over the Y,
Mhm.
and she is on board with us. She's, we've started getting back to having the meetings, like the town meetings that we used to do years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what are your numbers looking at? What are we doing?
So
And,
like the towns get together, like the
like,
directors.
yeah, Nathan and I'll get
Yeah.
together with Terry, and then the Mountain Grove
And then kind of go over
YMCA
and
will
try
come
to
over. And, yeah,
make a schedule and everything
yeah,
else. That's
yeah.
awesome.
We actually have our meeting next Wednesday to do that.
Well, bottom line is they get paid.
Yeah, they get paid
They
because
get
they're
paid to
over
be
the
there.
YMCA.
Yeah.
We don't.
That brings another what was I going to say? Okay, yes, with
but
this
yeah,
rec-
we I just feel like obviously if more people were in attendance, came to the games,
Mhm.
then
it would be, but
that
how-
would be awesome. It's not. I don't
How-
know how to promote it, because if it's not promoted
Come on here and
within
promote
the yeah
seriously, anytime.
if it's not promoted and pumped up at the school,
Yeah.
and we've had several girls from Liberty get college scholarships and go to college, and like our daughter, she graduated 2 years ago.
Mhm.
She actually was awarded the most money in her class.
Wow.
She ended up, choosing a different path. She
Yeah.
decided not to play soccer.
But the option was there for
the
her.
option was there, and she had nice scholarships.
That is awesome.
Several girls have gone and finished, like played all 4 years and finished
Well,
on their scholarships.
That's the thing that blows my mind is why. Okay, like you said, it's been proven. It gives scholarships, to those
Yes.
that are good enough. Why would an athletic director want to take that away from the kids? Because that's what it's doing, is taking an opportunity away from a kid because of some personal vendetta or something against soccer, because he don't think it's good enough, or I don't know what his reasoning is. If you want to come on and if you want to discuss this, come on, because I have some questions for you. But to me, it sounds like a slimeball, sleazy thing to do, and it does nothing but hurt kids. I don't see any pros to that decision.
No, the decision that the school board made, and I feel and I even said this, you hire somebody to give you good information.
Yes.
So you can make the best decision. You
Yes.
cannot micromanage. You can't be everywhere at once. It is not possible. It is not possible. He did not do his job. He did not provide them with accurate information, because I could tell by the looks on several of the board members' faces when I told them that the season didn't start till February 27th and they canceled it 11 days earlier. I got one of these. Like, oh God, what did we just do?
Yeah.
And like, so they didn't even know. Like, he didn't even
I'm
have
sorry.
the courtesy to say the season starts February 27th, but the numbers are low. No, it was just thrown out there. The numbers are low. We need to cancel so the girls can be free to.
Well, I know we're hitting on the athletic director a lot, but I still think the school board is just as much a
They
fault.
should have known they were breaking the Sunshine Law.
Not
It
just-
wasn't on the agenda. They should have been like, nope, it's not on the agenda. We are not discussing this. Moving on.
Not just that they were breaking a law, but for the fact that they were executing a sport that kids, it doesn't matter if it's 2, it doesn't matter if it's 5 kids. School is a public funded system.
Yeah.
And if it is there helping those kids, if we didn't have enough people to have a season and play a team, let it die on its own.
Yeah.
Why in the world do you think that you hold enough power to vote out something that one has given kids scholarships and is now taking the future away from them? Because like that girl we were talking about, that is the only sport that she is comfortable, able to play.
Yeah.
It built confidence for her. It gave her something exciting to look forward to that she was good at. And then for them to come in uninformed and just strike it down because under the will or whim of the athletic director, I don't know the details, but the fact remains is they voted to get it out besides one, and the athletic director wanted it. So what should have happened, in my opinion, is they should have held a forum. They should have gained public interest in this. They should have went out of their way, had 8, 9, 10 meetings on this to make sure this is the right thing, because I think you can never be too informed whenever it's to a kid's future.
Yes, exactly.
Especially something so important as this character building sport.
Yeah. And Nathan even said when he was interviewed by Howell County News as a soccer parent, he said if this was football, there would have been riots in the streets.
Yes.
This would not have happened.
Yep.
It would not have happened.
And I think
I would like to add something on the topic before you just went off topic of what you were just talking about. But last season, when we had to jump 3 days or whatever it was after the season was over, he did not only try to just cut soccer. He tried to cut golf.
He tried to cut golf and tennis as well because he cited their low numbers as well.
And as far as the gate fees, I was trying to jump in earlier, but we're not even allowed to charge gate fees.
Yeah, there is an SCA rule for a spring sport that you're not allowed to charge. That's what we've been told, that they're not allowed to charge gate fees.
What the hell?
So like track and softball and soccer.
So
Softball does. They have someone sit down there and take a collection or a donation.
Oh my God. So basically, I mean, if whoever athletic director or whatever, if they want to cite that it's because football brings in more money, well, there's a rule on the book that soccer can't even bring in any money. How are you expecting it to bring in any money?
Yeah, I mean, as a parent, I could sit out there and be like, would you like to make a donation?
Why is that
But how many people are going to walk by and be like, I'm watching a game?
But the thing is, why is that a rule to begin with?
I have no idea, but it's been in place for years.
That seems...
Across the SCA. Like, I don't know who started it. I don't know how we can change it. I know nothing about that, but that's what we've been told for years is why they don't collect any money.
That seems very absurd.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a couple bucks goes a long way.
A long way, especially in these small towns.
Yeah.
You know? Wow. This is kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah, and it really didn't help us our number wise because in the fall, girls have volleyball.
Yep. That's like the major fall sport.
We did have softball in the fall, but several years ago, school board voted to move softball to spring. So now the girls have the option of playing golf, tennis, track, softball, or soccer.
But it seems like he wanted to cut out literally almost all of the spring sports.
Yeah,
you know,
he did try at the last meeting. He did bring up the numbers on golf and the numbers on tennis, which we have a little young lady. She's not in high school yet. Mm-hmm. She's traveling all over. And I mean, she's like the next Tiger Woods, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know golf enough to know the female players.
But she's good.
she's good. Like she's one that's like she'll get a scholarship. No problem. She'll get a scholarship.
I guess I don't understand.
We actually had one go to state from golf. Yeah.
Well, see that right there. That's an important thing in a kid's life.
Yeah.
I do not see the motivation in. Okay, I don't like. I guarantee he probably has a preference that he does not like these spring sports. Golf is boring. Soccer is boring. Tennis is boring, and so it seems like it's coming from a biased place that he's wanting to strike these out because he really can't use the argument they don't gain no money when there's an SCA freaking law saying that you can't get any money. That seems a little absurd to be able to say that.
Yeah, and I don't know where his heart lies, but that's just
it doesn't seem like it's
that's
in a good
what
spot.
I get. It's always been hitting a wall, and I'm just I don't know what to do. I just wish if someone had an issue, please come and talk to me. You know, like I'm pretty sure I could change your mind, or we could work out something. But I don't understand. I just don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's also a little strange that he went for the ones that aren't even maintained by the school. The tennis court is owned by
the tennis court is owned by the city.
Mm-hmm.
Which has been a long time ago. It was in pretty rough shape. I don't know what it looks like today. I haven't been down there. The golf course is owned by the city. The football field is, am I correct? The city owns that?
So
I think the football field, like,
I doubt that the mics are picking up what he's saying. So basically he's saying that it's weird that they came in and were striking or going against the ones that are city funded.
Yeah, like the tennis.
Yeah, that
the school doesn't own the tennis courts.
Gotcha. So the ones that
the school doesn't own the golf course. They're just the students are allowed to go there and play.
I gotcha. Wow, that's freaking. I don't know.
Even the softball fields. City owns softball fields.
Well, I don't know. I feel like this needs a lot more attention brought to it because this is absolutely obscene.
Yeah.
For elected officials to do something like this so quickly, so abruptly, and with little information.
Yeah,
that's what makes me so mad about it.
It was they were not informed. They made a very rushed decision based off of lies and deceitful information given by someone that they should have been able to trust. I mean, in reality, they should have been able to trust him to give the information. But I do question why at any point were they like, oh, whoa, I'm not touching a kid's sport. Like we need to go. And like I said, there was only one board member that was like, no, absolutely not.
Well,
like,
I think we should protect all sports at all costs because they should all be the same. It doesn't matter. If it's got enough people to make a team, it should be treated the same. If not, we're going to try to get people to come to that sport to make a team. We shouldn't be trying to just cut it out automatically. I don't know why he's wanting to save the money. It seems like maybe he's wanting to funnel that money into other sport.
I have no idea, but like I said, we're not saying we would have had the numbers this season.
Yeah.
But it would
at least
would have been
nice
chance to wait until the first day of the season.
Let you have a fighting chance to see what you got instead of just striking something down like this.
Yeah, and even the head coach had said, she's like, if we just had 11 players, she's like, I would have had a meeting with the girls, we'd talked it with the parents, and she herself, she played college ball, she tore both her ACLs. Mm-hmm. She's not going to want to put the kids through a taxing season because that's 90 minutes of play on the field. No subs.
Yes.
That would have been done in the best interest for the kids.
Exactly.
But
that would have been the coach's decision.
Yes. And the players and the parents. She would have involved us all. Oh, it's 80 minutes of play. I'm sorry. It's 90 minutes professional. I'm sorry. For technical purposes.
But yeah.
But yeah, it would have been nice. And like I said, I'm frustrated because they threw it out there. They broke the law. And then when they tried to make up for breaking the law and held that other meeting, the decision was already made. Like we couldn't go anywhere. They had already kind of screwed us over.
3 minutes.
And 3 minutes to try to. And I had a very nice script wrote out.
That is obscene. Obscene.
And yeah, they did cut me off. And then when I tried to say something, they said, Laura, your time is up. I'm like, all right.
Of course it is.
And Nathan's looking at me like,
well, if I were you, they're elected. I would have stood up there and said, no, you're going to fucking listen to every word I got to say. You're going to sit there. If you don't like it, you can drag me out.
I was very, very torn between Okay,
being professional, and
running the
wanting to be
soccer
passionate.
association, being associated with
Yeah.
Howell County FC, being an alderman, but I was like, man,
Yes.
at the end of the day, I'm a parent.
You're a mama, mama bear coming after.
Yeah, I was like, I watched my kid cry. I
And-
watched other kids cry. I watched parents cry.
Yes, yes,
Parents cried because they're upset. I cried
yes.
because it's just so much joy. Like the joy our youngest daughter got from being able to wear bigger sister's jersey.
Mm-hmm. It's a proud moment.
Yeah.
It's a proud
I
thing.
mean, she wore that thing so proudly. She called her sister. She's like, I got your number. You know, like it was. Yeah, and she broke her sister's freshman record for scoring.
Sweet.
You know, called her immediately.
Oh,
you know,
I bet.
and
Rubbed it in a little bit.
oh
huh?
yeah, but I mean that's a moment. You know,
Yeah,
that's
that's
it's
something that you can't-
beautiful. Yeah, and Mia happened to be home from college
to
to
witness
be
it.
able to watch her first game.
That's awesome.
You know, so like that was
Soccer,
it was awesome. But like
just because soccer isn't important to one single person's life doesn't mean it isn't to the other. That's
Yeah.
the thing that blows my mind about this is it seems so short-sighted.
Yeah.
Such a short-sighted asinine decision.
yeah,
You know, that was made in the heat of the moment without the information. And
Yeah.
I think accountability should be held for this.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it should start. I don't know what we should do, but something needs to be done.
yeah,
We need to contact the athletic director of Liberty. We need to ream him a new one over the abuse of power and the flagrant law breaking, you know, and kind of figure out how the school board went about making their decision. Because I would like to know that. Was the athletic director just told them, hey, you're making this decision? And did they cower down like little dogs and do it? Because that's kind of what it sounds like to me.
I don't think it happened like that. I think he just slid in this is the information I have, and they were like, oh, the numbers are low. It's
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, the numbers are low.
Yeah.
And went with it. But they didn't know when the first official start date of the season. Like they didn't have that information.
Yeah. Well,
They were just told they don't have enough numbers to compete this year.
I want the school board to hear this, and I want them to get kind of angry at me, and I want them to come.
Well, I'm pretty sure they knew
Make-
I was angry.
Good. I want them. I would like for them to come on here and explain their decision a little bit.
Yeah. And like I sympathize a little bit because
I do not.
I just coming from an elected official position,
I understand.
I sympathize that if you're in a meeting, the meetings run long, and you're honestly some nights you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, sweet Jesus, I want out.
Absolutely.
You know,
guys are
and
human.
like,
You're human.
but in certain instances involving certain things,
Yep.
you need to be like, who's this affecting?
Well,
You
I
know,
think everything
and
should
not
be like that.
not just rush through it. Like
Exactly.
I've been tired. I've been at a city council meeting till midnight before. I've been tired, and we literally had the decision of like we were gonna hire this person. It was a massive decision, and we stayed there and we did it. That's why it was midnight. We did all the pros and cons. Like, but it sucked, but
because you're doing your job correctly. You were doing.
Yeah, we're trying.
You guys are doing what you're elected to do. It seems like the school board, the athletic director, and everything, they have so little interest in their meetings. They figured out a way to make sure that hardly anyone gets to see their meetings by posting it on their little website, little sneaky thing. They have no accountability, so therefore they have no public interest. They have no public interest because no one can find it. No one knows the information. And any sense of authority, any sense of authority out there, doesn't matter if it's a mayor, doesn't matter if it's a sheriff, left unchecked, human nature is to do their will.
Yeah.
That's human nature.
Yeah.
And it is up, and that is why there are checks and balances in every system.
Yeah.
Because we are supposed to check them. We are supposed to make them articulate their opinion at the very least.
Yeah.
And they are there to hear our opinion, whether they like it or not, or disagree with it.
Yeah.
You know, we ran into that problem with the previous mayor. He did not want to listen to anyone's opinion.
Yeah.
And he's a huge jackass, you know? But I don't know. If anyone hears this and it touches your heart, I think you guys should email the athletic director, talk to your school board members, hold elected officials accountable for everything. That is our job. Checks and balances. If left unchecked, every single time human nature will turn to doing what they want. And I think that this is a very good lesson on that. And I think people need to hear this, and you get outraged, and they need to get more involved with everything in our little cities.
Yes.
They think these little politics in our little towns don't matter. It starts here.
Yeah.
It starts here.
It has huge effects. Like I've noticed that firsthand.
Yeah.
Something that you think, oh, this might not be, a very big decision. And then you get out and about in town and I look around and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Now you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also encourage, if you've never ran for a public position or anything, do it.
Yeah.
It's an eye opener.
It's hard.
It's an eye opener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it takes a special kind of someone to do it.
It does. And
Jeez.
I tapped out. I tapped out 1.5 years, and I was just like, I love this town, and I will do everything for it, but I cannot tell you the amount of and I'll go there, especially as a woman.
Yeah.
In that position.
In these small towns.
I actually had a man come up to me before, and he was like, "Hey," and he's like, "You're on council, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir." And he's like, "I knew it." And he was like, "Man," he's like, "You're a bitch." And
What?
I stopped, and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "But that's what we need." And he was like, "Bitches get stuff done." And he was saying it to me like it was a compliment. And I was like,
Christ.
and I just kind of like stood there, and I was going into the grocery store, and I just stopped, and I was like, I don't even remember what I wanted. And I just like walked back to my car.
I'm a bit. You're a rat bastard.
But he was super happy about it. Like, he was just like, yeah, he's like, we need people like you. But I was like, your delivery, sir, was so bad.
That's such an uneducated asshole take. That's what that
like is. You wouldn't walk up to, like, he wouldn't have walked up to Murray or Lyndall and been like, you're a bastard.
Well, would he go up to his mom and be like, you're a bitch in our family, but that's what we need?
Yeah, that's exactly what we needed. Yeah. I mean, like,
people are absurd.
It came from a good place.
It did, but it was the most horrible way to say it.
I mean, I was just kind of like, I mean, I know I can be one, but like,
to just go up to someone and you didn't even ask for an opinion, to come up and be like, I want you to know that I think you're a bitch.
Yeah.
Thanks,
like
dude.
that was one of my first like big eye openers. I was like, yeah, women still aren't really taken seriously or like we should be, but
especially in these small towns.
It's hard.
It's a trickle effect around the United States, and it's very small, very slow in these small towns. It takes a long time for anything to change. We still don't have 5G internet that's good in our towns. I mean, it's just where we're at. Trickle effect on everything, and it's going to take a lot of loud people and passionate people to get things actually changed.
Yeah.
And that's what we need.
Yeah. Show up to the meetings. I get aggravated when people will call me and they're like, hey, I needed to talk to you about this. I don't like this. And I was like, okay. I was like, next meeting is, and I'll tell them. They're like, oh, I don't have time for that. Of course.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but you want to come talk to me about it. So
yeah,
if you're that passionate, put it on the docket. Come talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like come to the meetings, because every board, every council needs people there.
Yes.
Like planning and zoning, they hold meetings. No one shows up. It's just them. Chamber of Commerce, they hold their meetings. I honestly haven't been to one in a while, but it's been, like just no one. And I don't know if it was a COVID thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know it has. I know it's been going on longer.
I was going to say we've never had
COVID killed a lot of things and a lot of drive and desire to get out.
Yeah,
but.
And
there's zero excuses to educate yourself and involve yourself.
Yep.
And just
I mean, if you want to bitch about anything, then you got to show up and do your part.
Exactly.
Nothing gets changed by bitching about it to the wrong people.
Yeah.
If you want something changed, make it known.
Yeah.
Go out there. I get it. Everyone is worried about their appearance or what people will think of them by speaking their mind and stuff, but you got to throw that shit aside and just say what you feel on your heart that you need to say.
Yeah.
Without hurting people or being rude or calling people a bitch. That's Jesus. But I mean, if we want things changed and if everyone gripes about things done wrong, then you got to show up to the meetings. You got to hear, because you might be the only one that has that idea that's good enough to change it.
Exactly.
No one thinks the same. We're all human. We all think differently. And you could bring it up, and one of those councilmen, mayor, school board could be like, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And you could have just enacted a change like that.
We actually had, I can't remember the exact details, but I do remember sitting up there and we were discussing something and we were kind of like, oh, and then it's actually the gentleman who is taking over my spot.
Mm-hmm.
And he sat there and he's like, well, have you thought about doing it this way? And I was like,
no.
And I was kind of looking around at everybody and we were all like,
yeah. Well, that's what it takes, a fresh mind.
Yeah.
A fresh set of eyes put on something, and you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
Laura, this has been a really good one. I want you to come back on as soon as possible when you have more information on this. Anytime, you're more than welcome. We always have an open seat over there. I love talking to you. You are so informative. You're so good at this, and you're passionate about our town. You're passionate about the subjects that that you speak on, and you're educated. You're very well at it, and thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Please, before you leave, tell the people where to find you if they want to contact you, what you got going on, anything you want to promote or bring up. Please, you've got the floor.
Okay. Well, I know we've got a city council meeting this Tuesday,
Okay.
so
Come,
yeah, please show up.
show up.
And we actually, the board we have now, they're like, show up. We want it
Yeah.
filled. Like we want it packed.
Yeah.
Like
You want people to.
Everybody on that board, they're very easy to talk to and everything.
We seem like we have a pretty damn good team on there now.
I love it. Like
yeah.
I regret. Well, not. I don't regret. Like,
Yeah.
I feel bad about leaving because I did want to run again.
But you gotta do what you gotta do for you.
Yeah, it did burn me out pretty quick.
I don't blame you.
Because mainly with everything that I dealt with the previous mayor, that burnt me out.
Yeah.
Really fast. But
if people could only understand when you come back on, we'll have to get in detail on that. That was.
But yeah, city
time.
council meeting Tuesday. Start coming to meetings.
Mhm.
Just come to the meetings. If you want your voice heard, come to the meetings.
Yep.
Everybody knows where my husband and I are.
Yeah.
Not
hard to find.
Everybody knows us.
Yep.
Like we're all around.
You guys are so interactive in our community and everything else.
We've got the Mountain View Soccer Association. Our season's firing up. We're getting ready our games are going to start in April.
Mm-hmm.
Just come down and
watch.
watch.
Yeah, come to the games.
Yeah, we've got an awesome
and this
concession
is the rec
stand,
team.
and
This
it's all of our rec teams.
Okay.
Nathan's club team, Howell County FC.
Where can people find schedules for those games?
We will post them online.
Okay. Facebook page?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page, Mountain View Soccer Association. I'm sure it's abbreviated somehow.
Okay, but
it may not be.
Yeah, well, look at it. I'm sure it's on your page at the very least.
Yes,
so.
Yeah. Yeah, but Nathan's club team, Howell County FC.
Just make sure it's not Mountain View, Connecticut.
Yeah.
There are several Mountain Views in other states, but yeah, my husband's club soccer team, he's done excellent thing with the girls. He actually has 2 girls from his club team that are signing to play for colleges later on this month.
Here in a second, Nathan, I would like to have you come up here as soon as I finish with her and maybe brag on them a little bit. Okay.
But yeah, just so that's roll. It's paused for right now, but we're hoping to get things for high school girls going later, like April and May. We'd love to get some of the younger girls up and going. If we could get enough boys interested, we would love to get that going. We had that for one season. We had a boys team.
So parents, if your kids are interested in soccer, reach out.
Yes, you can. Yeah, we're on Facebook. I mean, everyone has my phone number for city council purposes, but it's 247-5508. It's out there already. So,
you're brave.
Oh, when my phone my phone stays on silent because it rings off the hook anyway. So like the messages and everything, but it's out there. It's been out there with the newspaper. Yeah. My phone number hasn't changed in years. But contact us for soccer, anything soccer. Contact me for anything. City, if you've got any questions. I spent years working with the Sunshine Law. That was my bread and butter for the paper. Yeah, exactly. I was just getting ready to say that was my bread and butter for the newspaper. Like I know it. Like one of the first things I did as an alderman is I contacted the Attorney General's office. You can get the books for free. Okay. You can go to the Attorney General's office and you can get a free Sunshine Law book, and it gives you all the details about it. They will ship it to you. You can get 20, you can get 40, they will ship them to you. So I think I got about 25 and I handed them all out to everyone sitting there at city council, and then I put the rest of them at the front door. Because you have to educate yourselves.
Yes, that's the only way anything gets done.
Yeah, be present, educate yourselves.
Got to know the system that you work in.
Yeah, if you see something going on that you don't like, do something about it. It's hard to pull yourself out of your comfort zone, and I don't necessarily like being in front of people. I saw things going on with city council I did not agree with. So I was like, I guess it's my time.
Yeah. Well,
and did it.
That's like me on this thing. I'm so nervous to start this, but I finally just told myself, I don't give a shit what people think. I don't care. I've already had people negative comments and everything. I just don't listen to them. I the thing is, people who want to like tell me I can do it better or something, go do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Spend your money, get the equipment like I did, go do it. If not, I guess you're going to just sit there and bitch.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all they're going to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to make everyone happy with these podcasts.
No, you're not. You're not an ice
I'm
cream
not trying
truck.
to. I'm not trying to.
That's my favorite saying is you aren't an ice cream truck.
Exactly.
You're not going to make everyone happy.
Nope. And I'm not trying to. I'm trying to find my audience, which is the people who will like this kind of stuff right
Yeah.
here. We're talking about soccer, an important thing that's going on within our city.
Yeah.
This is important. And a little bit of abuse of power on the side of it, so this is important stuff. And it'll reach who it reaches. And I hope this lights a fire under some people to get active, get out there, make your change, make your voice heard, hold those accountable who need it.
Yes.
Athletic director. Well, anything else you want to add?
I think I'm tapped out.
Okay. Nathan, would you like to come up?
Sure, I'll come up.
All right.
You've covered the political side. I'll push the soccer.
We are doing a little switcheroo right now. Up next is Laura's wife, Nathan. He is what did I say? Fuck. He is the husband. He is not the wife. He is not a girl. I don't think he identifies. Do you identify?
I don't.
Okay, so he is the husband. I was a little confused there. Didn't know what you identified at, man. Just had to work on that.
Gotta ask everybody these days.
Exactly. So, Nathan, what's up?
Well, it's about to be soccer all over the place.
Yeah.
Not that it ever stops for me, but
It's
that's
getting there.
my own fault, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, this is your favorite time of year, ain't it?
Yeah, it's a good time of the year. It's busy. Let's put it that way.
So, what do you got going on?
Well, we're about to fire up our rec program. We're 100 kids up from last season, which is
Wow.
Yeah, wow. We're trying to build the thing,
Yeah, going from the ground up with it. What year is this on it? Is it 3 or 4? Is that what she said?
Well, as of our takeover, we're in season 3, so a year and a half. I've been involved in it. She's been involved in it for 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
I was an original player in the Mountain View League,
Mhm.
so
That was back in the day when they had like leather helmets, wasn't it?
almost.
Yeah.
It feels that
I'm
way.
just kidding.
Yeah, we've got some towns trying to put together teams now that haven't in a long time, and
That's pretty exciting getting more involved like that. I mean,
like I said earlier, we play Willow, Mountain Grove, Houston. Whenever they decide that their 90 kids is okay, they can play themselves.
Yeah.
Compared to our 250 and West Plains 500. West Plains does play themselves. I'm working on that.
mm-hmm.
Hopefully,
You're trying to bring them into the fold as far as your schedule.
just as far as playing each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Parents don't want to go nowhere anymore.
Yeah.
It's
hard to get people to travel.
I'm boggled by the amount of parents that aren't willing to travel to Mountain Grove.
It's only 20 minutes.
On a Saturday.
Yeah.
When I've done.
Do you think COVID has something to do with that?
No, I think people are just lazy.
Yeah, I think so too.
COVID is just an excuse at this point.
Yeah.
But it's soccer as a whole in not just Mountain View, but our rural areas.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't get past the football mindset.
Yeah.
Well, they need to wake up.
Yes.
We're hosting a World Cup in 3 years.
Kansas City
is a host.
Oh my God.
Stadium.
You're shitting me.
No.
I had no idea that we were hosting the World Cup.
No. We are.
Are the tickets sold out yet?
Have
you tried?
I haven't tried yet. We are going to try and get some.
That'd be badass.
It is the men's World Cup. The women are playing right now or very soon in New Zealand this year. But yes, we did win the World Cup hosting us, Mexico, and Canada as a whole. So
America's starting to get. See, this is the thing that I like to tell people. Whenever I was younger, I didn't know much about soccer. I went and I met some buddies whenever I was serving, and he was a British guy.
Mm-hmm.
Football. Football. We watched football, and I got so into it. He was a Liverpool guy, and so automatically I went for Man U just because of the rivalry.
Screw Liverpool.
Just because of the rivalry, I went for that. And anytime Arsenal plays, I'm always cheering for Arsenal. But yeah, that got me into it. And around the world, soccer is huge. It is the biggest sport
in the world.
Yes.
And it's one of the fastest growing in America.
Yes. And I think it's going to be very exciting over the next 10 years.
Unfortunately, it's also
met with the most resistance.
that in the rural areas, but
I
across the board, worldwide, we charge way too much for these kids to
Yeah,
play. That's
absolutely.
why our men's team will probably never win a World Cup, is because we're ruling out the lower class.
Yeah,
It I do all this for free.
Yeah.
I don't charge the kids anything as far as me doing what I do.
that's
I
that's admirable.
try to get sponsors, and if they have to pay anything, it's for uniforms
Yes.
or
Socks.
socks. Entry fees, and
Yeah.
the team splits the entry fees if I don't have somebody to sponsor it to pay for it.
Mhm.
We've grown. I used to try and just do it for Liberty, the Liberty girls.
Yeah.
Trying to build the program, as many of us have been fighting and doing for years, trying to keep people from just shutting it down for no reason, like is what's seemingly happening.
Well, it's weird in this little town of ours. Soccer is a good thing. Soccer's athletic, and like you were talking about scholarships. Why do you think soccer is being met with so much resistance?
Because it's not the normal for these people around.
Do you think it's scared of change and
I'm sure
ignorance?
that's some of that, and both probably.
I think it's a lot of ignorance and uneducation.
I mean, the game in high school, yeah, it's 2 40-minute halves, but a professional game or anything outside of high school rules, that's just high school. Misuse rules is 40-minute halves.
Mhm.
The game doesn't stop.
Yeah,
They are-
it's constant.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. My fat ass could not get out there and do that.
Well, I'm getting pretty old, so it's tough on my knees, but I try to do it. I try to play with the kids when I can. But yeah, I mean, that's all we're doing, is we're trying to keep the program alive.
And football, aka soccer, is one of the most amazing athletic sports out there. I mean, the feet work, the head kicks, the spins, like everything. Like people should appreciate the athleticism coming from that.
Have you seen some of these guys take off their shirts? And
Oh my God, chiseled.
Every single soccer player is ripped.
Exactly.
Find me another sport.
It is probably the most physical demanding sport out there.
it is. It's got to be.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not knocking any other sport.
Absolutely not.
I enjoy hockey.
Mhm.
I never got to play.
hockey's a
'cause-
badass sport, ain't it?
Yeah,
I love watching that.
but they have pads,
Yep. There's no pads on y'all.
shin guards.
Yep, that's it.
It's just, yeah, like you said, ignorance and change.
Closed-mindedness.
Yes, they don't want it, and that's what we've been fighting at Liberty since the beginning. We have a small group that fought for this and to keep it, and that group is still here, but our numbers are starting to dwindle a little bit as far as the families that have taken care of this for so long.
Well, they're probably getting older, and
Yeah, they might have even moved. Some of them might have even moved off.
Yeah.
Or passed on.
I know after listening to Lori and yourself, this has definitely got me pissed off.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any reason to cancel a sport for no apparent reason.
not without waiting.
At least get people's
It
opinions.
would not have done anything to hurt it and we would have been fine. We were already prepared
Yes.
to not have one. But Liberty's always had low numbers.
Yes. Well, they should at least give you guys a fighting chance to discuss it, to make your point. The fact, what makes me mad is not that the fact that it's canceled. It's the fact that they did it without consulting, getting the education, and at least hearing out the parents, the teachers, the athletes.
Right.
That's what makes me so mad about it. It's like, I don't care what anyone thinks. This is my decision.
Well, this is the second time they've done it.
This is the second time.
Well, they tried last season. Let me rephrase that. After the season was over, they tried to shut it down. The athletic director we were speaking of brought it up at a board meeting.
So this has been an ongoing thing. You guys have been on the chopping block for a while,
We've been
for
on the-
some reason or another. Have you ever been able to get out of him what a reason is on this?
Nope, not us.
He just doesn't feel like he owes anyone his explanation.
No, anytime he has anything to say about it, it's, I'm not against soccer. I'm not trying to shut it down. Well, you obviously
Well, you just
are.
fucking shut it down, bud.
Yeah. And the false information and using me and my private team as a scapegoat, as an excuse.
That's slimy.
And I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Had I known, I would have been there. I didn't get to make it to the last one that they tried this, and I say they. It was. I'm still focused on him. The board. I'm not blaming them. They only go off of what information they have.
Yeah, but they do have minds of their own.
They do.
And I do think that they took the easy way out instead of doing their job.
Well, that is a point.
You know, I'm not saying anything bad about them personally. That everything I'm saying
no,
today
no,
is professional.
Yeah,
you know?
they are the ones I know personally are good people.
I'm sure they all are in their own way.
Right.
And that's like the athletic director. I'm not attacking him personally. I'm attacking him professionally.
Exactly.
Do your job and think about the kids. Think about the families. Think about who this affects other than your fucking self.
It's all about the kids.
That's all. Exactly.
There's barely anything for them to do anyway.
This town has nothing for kids to do as it is. You take sports away, where does that go?
Yeah. Well,
I'll tell you what it leads to. It could lead to underage drinking, drugs. You know,
seen it plenty.
Around here, it's a normal thing,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but it's because we have nothing.
Exactly.
And you take a sport away from a kid. I don't know. To me, that's one of the most slimiest things. I'm mad. I'm mad. That's a slimy freaking thing to do.
I mean, in the soccer program, the rec program that we run, it's always been this way, but I keep it enforced. Anybody can sign up and play.
Yeah.
We'll put you on a team of your age category.
Mm-hmm.
Every kid plays a half of each game. Where the rest of these sports in the
That's
area,
awesome.
Especially since I've taken over the rec program, I've been told by numerous parents, we really like that process where every kid plays a half.
I think it's important. These kids, you're not trying to win a championship. You're not trying to go to a
We're
state.
trying to learn.
You're learning. You're giving them fundamentals. You're giving them fundamentals for life.
Exactly.
And by including them, even the worst player of the worst, he gets out there. He has built himself. I'm not saying participation trophy, blah, 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 blah. Don't get me wrong. You know, high school is a place for, the best to play. Whenever, like you're doing this rec league, it is a place to learn. It is a place to build self-confidence, build a rapport with the kids, and gauge their interest on it and give them something to look forward to.
Right. And now, like you mentioned with high school, yeah, we're there to win.
Yes.
That is what I do with my club.
Mm-hmm.
My private team is, we're going to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. And we have been successful there.
Yes.
For the most part. I'm not saying we win every game. I'm not saying
that'd be hard to do. I mean,
but we have won multiple seasons in Springfield.
Yeah.
Against
those are some no joke players too. Yeah. You got some good players up there.
Yeah. That where a lot of the big clubs are.
Mm-hmm. A lot more people to pick from too. I mean,
exactly. And they'll pull from wherever.
Exactly. They can stack their team, and
they were getting kids from here because they had mine.
Really?
But like back again where I was talking about how expensive it is in the U.S. for these kids to play soccer. For a good team, would we play anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a season?
Mm-hmm.
That was just for them to be on the team.
Yeah, that's
across the board worldwide. That's not like that.
Which makes a barrier for entry almost.
And that doesn't count the travel, the hotel fees, food, anything. That's just so they can be on the team.
And you have to stay in the same hotel with your team, no matter what.
You have to stay in the same hotel as your team?
On some occasions, for different things, they've got some sort of scam going on where...
Will you pull that mic up just a little bit? I'm sorry. It was just... Right. Yeah. There you go.
But
sorry.
They've got some sort of scam going on. I'll call it a scam because I called it a scam when I was doing it.
Well, it shouldn't be that high.
And the hotels are very nice hotels and minimum $150 a night.
Well, what do you think? Why is the reason for it to be so expensive? What can people do to make it less expensive? Where does that start? Do you know?
I guess do what I do.
Yeah, just get involved.
I don't really honestly know how we can make it cheaper because people are making money off this. This is how they make a living.
Yep.
If I could make a living off of it, sure, I'd try it.
Well, I think you deserve to be paid for your time as much as you do. I mean,
but I don't mind doing it.
Yes.
I do it for them kids.
It's admirable, and it takes people like you to make something work. And
seeing the smile on the worst kid on the field's face when he scores a goal his first time
means a lot.
is awesome.
Yeah.
And I've seen it many times. Now, I'm not talking about my club team. And
Yeah.
I am, but I'm not. I'm talking about across the board.
Yes.
And I try to do that. I try to make it where the kids that aren't so confident
Yeah.
in themselves or are new, they get a chance, at least a chance to take a crack at scoring a goal.
That makes me pretty freaking happy and proud that we got people like you guys out there in our community doing that.
It's just the way it should be.
It should be, but it's
And
not.
what I was saying is a lot of the sports in our area do not allow necessarily any kid to play. It's a good buddy system.
Oh yeah, all about who you are.
It's a ridiculous system.
Yep.
Even our high school programs are a good buddy system. They always
have been. This town is a good buddy system.
And it's not just us.
No, all small towns have these small town politics that are just completely original to our space.
I have no name in this town.
Yep.
I made my name.
Yes, exactly. And what you are doing is so freaking awesome for these kids. I applaud you, and I love this. I guess I never realized. I didn't.
I don't publicize what I do much, other than my personal pages and whatnot. We have our own private page for the club team. And speaking of the club team, Laura did mention we have 2 girls signing for colleges on the 22nd of this month.
That is awesome.
Neither one of them go to Liberty. Neither one of them have a high school program in their school.
And they did it all through your program, pretty much.
Well, themselves and my program.
Yes, but
yes,
by playing through you guys.
Yes.
That is freaking amazing.
But I mean, most of it's on them. And that's what people don't understand is, even in high school, scouts aren't coming to watch your kid.
Yeah,
it's up to you.
Yeah, you've got to make yourself known.
Your coach is probably not going to do you justice if you want your kid to go to college and play a sport.
You've got to do it yourself.
It's on you. It's on your kid.
Well, that's lack of information because no one knows that. People, me personally, I always thought, if a scout's going to come, they're going to come.
And there are the rare occasions that they will, but they're not going to come to your high school home game. They're going to go to a tournament maybe. And
where they can gauge many small schools at one time.
That's how this works. And in my personal opinion, the whole recruiting system that colleges use is kind of a scam, in my opinion, too, because you pay to go to one of their camps. If you want to,
you pay.
If you want to go, say, I want to go to this school here. I'm not going to name any schools.
Yeah.
And they have the soccer program. I'm interested in how the school works and what they're about. You have to get their attention, basically, and then they'll invite you to a camp. That costs you. I paid, what did we pay for Yale?
A bunch.
A lot.
A bunch.
It was
too much.
I think it was 5,000.
See, that's
well, that was travel and everything. I'm just talking about the camp itself.
Well,
the camp was $700.
I was thinking it was $700
Well,
to go attend, which Yale is a huge
absolutely.
name. But it was like 3 days.
But they don't need the fucking money.
Exactly. And then they got caught with the scandal right after we left.
Of course they did. These Ivy League schools, okay, I have a huge beef with the NCAA, with all these colleges about how they fuck players over. They make all the money on the backs of all these athletes while the athletes are eating ramen noodles every night. Things need to change, and there needs to be set in place a way for those kids to make money. Oh, we paid for your college. Bullshit. That kid is out there on the field making millions of dollars for these freaking colleges, and these colleges just rake them over the coals. How many get injured in college and can't go to professional because of that? Because of the greed from the NCAA.
Yeah. And then they got the scandal.
Sorry, I got on a rant there.
You're all right. Then the scandal thing that happened right after we were there. It involved.
What was the scandal?
They were bringing in celebrity kids and
rich
kids
shit! Yes.
And pretending they were on the roster just to get them in the school.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, the Yale coach that I don't think I actually got formally introduced to him or nothing, but that I can recall. But he was standing right there. He was one of them. There was a bunch of them, and these were these big, high-end colleges that did this.
I'm so glad they got caught. That makes me so happy. Those narcissistic assholes. It is. But that just shows you how the system is rigged against us middle-class citizens.
Exactly.
Don't forget, in order for Mia for her to even have been looked at by an NCAA school, we had to buy her a number.
Yeah, we had.
Oh my God! Had to buy her a number
It
to
was
be
90
looked at by an NCAA
it's
school.
like $90 one time, and
It don't matter. $90 times probably $5 million a year.
exactly, it's
for
stupid.
a number and a chance that your kid.
This is,
And there are a lot of rules, and I think a lot of these rules are good.
of course, they are.
And I think it's because of all the scandals in the past.
Yeah. Well, that's how they learn because they're not going to change anything unless they are put on the chopping block.
You know, the college coaches can't even talk to. Well, it depends on the division, on when the coaches can actually reach out and talk to your player.
Yeah.
They have to be a junior if it's NCAA.
If it's like NCAA, they have to be the summer of their junior year.
Yeah, something like that. And I'm a couple years past the one we did all this with, so I'm a little fuzzy. So.
And I'm sure a lot of that is checks and balances, like everything else. But I think a lot of it's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's an app, and some of these are scams too. But you can get an app. I have it, and that's how. Not necessarily how Asia and Maddie got their deals,
but got recognized to be able to start looking for deals.
It's called Field Level. A lot of coaches use it. It's just basically if your players want to sign up, then they have to register their own account, and then they add themselves to my team. No, you don't.
This ain't for college.
Yeah, it is for college, but you actually don't have to pay for this.
Okay.
It's a free service.
How gracious of them.
You can pay for a better version of it.
Yeah, you can sign up for the premium.
It's like Life 360. Okay, my kid's here. Nope, now she's in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But if you buy the premium, it might work better. We don't know.
Exactly.
But there are a lot, and we've talked to several that's they want to charge you, and they're charging you to push your kid. I'm like,
yeah, of course they are.
I doubt it, but I can do this myself. But yeah, there's many apps. I'm sure there's many that you can get on, get yourself registered. Like this one, Field Level is free, and I can have my whole team, my whole roster on it if they want to be. They're the only two that have.
And then that makes it easier for the colleges to find it.
Yeah, and they put in their information, like their 40-meter dash time, how their vertical,
their
and
stats,
stuff like that. Stats. We can put videos on there of them playing. The coaches from all around the world can go, and I haven't seen it from a coach's perspective, so I don't know what they're looking at, but they can go and just click on something
and see them
play, see their stats, see everything that they've put on there.
That's a lot.
And offer them one of these scandalous camps that you have to pay for.
Yeah, you got to pay for it.
We've been to many. I haven't not had to pay for one yet that I know of.
Of course not. It's a wild time we live in that, it's kind of like a Tinder for coaches as far as finding the players you want and stuff. It's kind of with technology and stuff. It always amazes me what we got. But that's what it reminds me of. It's like a coach sitting there. He's like, nope, not tall enough, not fast enough. Her swipe. Wow, we matched,
I guarantee that's something how it works, It's weird.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I mean, I get part of it. It eliminates a lot of wasted time, I feel like, for the coaches and the players, but
got the tech, might as well use it, and then pay to come to a camp and see if you're good.
I mean, not all of them are real expensive or anything, but you're still paying.
You're still paying.
Oh, you're going to get a T-shirt out of this, but you might not get a college scholarship.
Exactly.
But and that's what I tell the girls whenever
it should be free. It should be free. There's no reason for it not to be.
I mean, I'm paying you to tell me if you want me or not.
Yeah, exactly. How fucked up is that? That's messed up.
We do have a lot of kids, which Asia will be attending Evangel in Springfield, and we do have a lot of local kids that end up at Evangel for various different things.
That's a good school, I've heard.
We know the coach pretty well, and he is a good dude. I don't know a whole lot about the rest of the school. Our daughter Mia did attend a couple camps over there, and she enjoyed it. I mean, I watched a little bit, but honestly, I see so much soccer. If I don't have to be involved, sometimes I kind of wander off.
Well, it's kind of nice to be on the receiving side where you're just sitting there enjoying the sport that you love.
I don't necessarily always get to be on the sideline just as a parent.
Yeah,
I mean, especially with the rec in the club. I'm always on the sideline as a coach or in the middle of the field as an official.
Yeah.
With the kids, which I'm not knocking any of it. I do it because I want to. As you guys brought up earlier, if you see something you don't like, do something about it.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up with this.
Yep. That's how you got involved.
I saw problems, and like I said, I've been involved in it for 20 years or more, plus an original player in the Mountain View League.
That's pretty awesome.
I saw and was told some things I didn't really like.
Yeah.
So
and you decided to change it.
I demanded it.
Yes.
And nobody stopped me.
And you put in you put in the work to get it changed. You didn't expect someone to do it for you.
I have not stopped putting in work since I took over.
That's very admirable, man. That's awesome. Before we wrap up here, please let people know where to find you, what you need as a soccer team. I mean, for real, ask for some funds, donations, whatever you guys need.
Well, we can always do with more sponsors. I've got some good ones right now. Ozark Mountain Leasing.
Mm-hmm. They're a great company. I like them guys a lot.
I've worked for them for 23 years, and they're always willing to help out when they can or when they know about it. I sometimes get in trouble if I don't ask, and I'm not one that likes to ask for anything. So, as far as the rec program, our registration's closed for now for the spring season, but we will open back up in the fall. I want to say June or probably July, we'll probably reopen registration. So come like the Mountain View Soccer Association page if your kid's interested in playing, and just watch. We post it. We put it in the newspaper. We put it on the radio.
You advertise it.
I tried to do some flyers this year, but I had a family incident that kind of got in the way of some of that, so I didn't get as many out as I wanted. We're trying to do everything we can. If I could airdrop flyers out of an airplane, I would do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's always going to be a half dozen to 20 people as soon as registration closes.
They didn't know.
We didn't know. We didn't see it. I even had someone argue with me.
Oh, that's the nature of the beast, man. Nature of the beast.
So I didn't realize I had to be on social media to know about this. I was like, well, everything's social media anymore.
Exactly.
What do you want?
I mean, everything on paper is dead.
Right.
You know.
As far as my personal club team, let me see you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and do a younger team here soon because we do have some younger talent here that wants to play.
What age group?
It'd probably be U14, so anywhere from. Really, I'm not gonna out a 10-year-old from playing at that level, but if I see that they can handle it,
you're gonna let them.
I'm gonna let them.
You're gonna give them the chance.
My high school girls team has 2 12-year-olds right now, and they hold their own against seniors. So.
That's awesome. I love that. I've got to pause real quick. I'm about to leak out, so give me 1 second. If you need to use the restroom, you can. What did you say? New 14, U13, 10-year-old play. Got pretty good memory on that. Let me shut this door. Otherwise, the sound won't be as good. That was a great piss.
It was a great piss.
I don't think I've ever had one as good. I'm sorry I had to cut it off abruptly, but I was doing a disservice because all I could think about was not pissing my pants.
I was right there with you. I'm not gonna lie.
Horrible, man.
Okay, so
sorry.
We left off at
U14. You're making the younger league.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get some of the younger girls together. We'll start trying to do some practicing outside of the rec league, which is basically where I find these kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll ask them, and not to be a creep, I'll send Laura over to talk to them, or I even had the high school coach come with me once last season to get a girl I didn't know.
Yeah,
we do have a lot of new people moving into this area.
We do,
and they're from states that soccer's way bigger and they're used to certain things.
Everywhere soccer is bigger. I don't understand these small towns. I do not understand why soccer isn't bigger.
So, you know, I am capitalizing on these new residents as far as building teams outside of Mountain View, and I'm helping them. They can register through Mountain View Soccer Association and build their own team from wherever they're living in the area. So they don't have to they don't have to show up to Mountain View to practice. In other words, if they build their own team from their local town, we've got one coming in from Winona Eminence. We're just calling them Shannon County right now. They're registered through us.
So they're part of your team, but
they're part of the league.
Part of the league. So you will play them.
Yes, Mountain View will play them.
Sweet.
It's a U19 team, so they ended up with 16, 17 players, which
that's pretty good.
That's a healthy roster right there.
How many players are on the field?
11.
11 players.
So I generally, if I can, which for the most part is usually doable, I do not roster more than 22 kids per team because that eliminates, well, it's a headache, and plus that eliminates the factor that we push with every kid plays a half.
Yeah.
Because if there's more than that, then they can't.
Yeah.
But our Mountain View U19 team ended up with, I think, 24 on their roster, but I didn't have anywhere else to go with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know pretty much 100% that every one of these kids isn't going to be there every time because they work,
have lives,
they have other sports they play. We just try to get them to learn and have fun. As far as the Howell County Football Club, we do have a Facebook page. You can look it up. It is Howell County Football Club, spelled F-U-T-B-O-L.
The right.
Yeah. You can't just add yourself to the page because we had a lot of people from Africa apparently trying to join it.
Bots.
So, yeah, basically is what it more than likely was. So if I feel like you're a real person and interested, or you've talked to me personally, then I'll let you in that.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't post much, just what we're trying to do. And, or if we're in the middle of the season, we try to keep it upbeat with the kids and updates. I would do as many teams as I could all across the age groups as far as the club goes, but I'm one guy.
Yeah.
I get stretched pretty thin.
It seems like you've got a lot on your plate.
So, I mean, if you're listening to this and you're in the area and you're soccer affiliated and you want to be involved in something more than just rec and you got the experience, talk to me. I mean, I need help.
Yeah.
It's the only way we can make this thing grow.
That, and businesses around town, anyone who wants to see soccer grow and become a new fundamental sport for this town, you guys need to get involved, help them get jerseys, help them get socks, help them get cleats. There's only so much one person can do as far as Nathan and Laura here. So we need to help water the seed and let it grow.
As far as sponsors go for the recreational, all you got to do is reach out to one of us. We do have many sponsors there. I'm not really in charge of that at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I haven't really taken over yet, but I can point you to who will take care of it. And we do have many. I can't name them all off the board right now, but we do have them posted on the board at the soccer field.
Mm-hmm.
And we did just rename the fields to honor our deceased friend that did a lot for this program, Tovia Awala. We are trying to put in place a ceremony coming soon.
That's awesome.
I don't know that we'll be able to, but I'm even going to try and get the street renamed that runs alongside the soccer fields.
Well, if you guys are doing a ceremony, I would ask you to come on here and promote it and try to get people to, if you want it open, like an open ceremony.
I mean, it'll be open. It'll be during season, I think, right now. We've been discussing it all winter, and we decided that we were going to, he passed away just a few months ago.
Sorry.
Unfortunately. But we just haven't figured out all the details and when yet. So we're still working on it, and we'll definitely have posts about it. And if we can come here and
or I can promote it for you, whatever you guys want to do.
That definitely works.
We'll try to get people to come.
But yeah, man, I mean,
well, Nathan, thank you for all you do for our kids. Thank you for bringing this sport and just trying to bring something that has a little more interest than football, baseball, which those aren't bad, but not all kids like football and baseball. Soccer is a very fundamental sport.
It is. And there's the high school, provided we can even keep the girls program alive.
Yeah.
We can't even talk about having a boys team. And it would take years of even allowing the thought process to happen to even have enough for that. I think because they just won't even talk about it.
Yeah,
because it
for
runs
some
during
reason.
football season.
Of course. And before we go, I would like to tell everyone, please reach out to your school council, reach out to your athletic director, ask the questions, ask the hard questions, figure out what's going on and hold these guys accountable for something they did. They took away a sport from children, and that alone should piss you off. So I'm going to leave it at that. Nathan, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
I'm very thankful to have you out there for our kids, and thank you for everything you do. I mean, that's a lot, and thank you.